My name is Shane McDonald. I'm an attorney at law in South Florida. I'm actually called to the bar in Jamaica and in Florida. I practice three areas of law: family law, criminal, and immigration. I call these three areas a trifactor because many times they play on each other. I'll have a case, for instance, where a man is accused by his wife of committing an act of domestic violence. So I usually have to go to the criminal felony court to get that resolved. After I get that resolved, at times they're going through a divorce and I have to deal with that. And then there are sometimes immigration consequences as well, and I also have to deal with that. So I like that the three areas that I do interact with each other. A little about me. So I have two law degrees, one from the University of the West Indies in Jamaica and the Norma Mandela Law School. And then I have a Juris Doctor from the University of Florida. Go Gators! I also have two master's degrees, one from the University of Oxford, England. I have a master's there in criminology and criminal justice. And then I also have another master's degree from Florida International University in international crime and justice. And currently I'm pursuing a doctoral degree that I'm hoping I'll be finished in the next year or two. And one of my greatest accomplishments, I would say, is actually my diploma in Spanish. So with that, I wanted to introduce you to what I'm going to call Unscripted. It's just me talking to some of my clients about cases that we have to show you a real insight into what people go through in the criminal justice system or the family system or immigration. This week we're going to be focusing, since we just had Father's Day pass, on parental alienation. And I'm going to show you the stories of three men who have volunteered to come and share their stories with you of their fight to get their children in court and what it was like, how they have been able to overcome what they're currently going through. So I just wanted to share their stories with you to show you, to give hope to other men out there who may be going through this system as well, to give hope to other parents or just people in general, to show you that it's worth the fight. Thank you. So we're here with Mr. O. So Mr. O is one of my clients. He's also been, I'd call it, a victim of parental alienation. For 3 years, you didn't see your son.
Yes, absolutely correct.
A
3
long
years.
3 years.
3 years.
And right now you have 100% time sharing.
Yes, the Lord has blessed me and was able to grant me full custody of my son after the years of struggling.
And when you said the years of struggling, you were one of those men in court battling it out every day, not giving up, trying to see your son, trying to go to the school, because you had time sharing, right? You had a court order
I did.
that said you must have him every other weekend.
Yeah, correct.
And every single time you went to pick him up, she would call the police or change his school or something, right?
What she did, she took the advantage, because she had the advantage over me by working for the schools. She was working with someone in the office, the front office. So every time the court order was sent over, they would put her on alert, and then she would sign the kid out saying he has a headache or he was sick. Don't want to jump to any conclusion, but I would assume that based on how it transpired, that she was advised. When I went there, they're saying, because at one point when I went to the school, the assistant principal told me at the time that he's in school and he was there, and I waited, and then long after that, I found out she signed him up from school. And this kept on going repetitively.
For years, like every time you tried to get your son,
every time I
she
tried
signed him out early or
Correct.
changed the school. At some point, then she started changing the schools.
Correct. And
Not updating you as to where your child was.
correct. And next thing you know, I would see police showing up at my door with either a restraining order for me to go to court, and not knowing what went on, because these court orders were frivolous. Even when we went to trial, she kept on filing frivolous restraining
The same.
order.
So when I met you, there were about 5 restraining orders.
Yes.
Based on the exact same allegations that the court said were not true from 2022.
Correct.
So every minute is the same. And I remember when I met you, I didn't even go to the hearing. I just did a motion to dismiss.
Correct.
Because you know the thing with the restraining orders, they have to be like temporal. You can't have something that you're alleging happened 10 years ago
Correct.
And so the judge dismissed it. And remember, they had a whole hearing on her allegations,
Correct.
which the court, the doctor, the police, the court, everybody found not to be the case.
Correct.
So, do you want to share, Mr. O, what were some of the allegations?
Oh, I'm not gonna get in depth into it, but because I don't even want to put in something negative in the atmosphere.
Right.
But some of was I was abusing. I was abusing him. He was traumatized of being in my presence. That
Crying,
crying,
peeing
up himself, which
and you
was
remember
irrelevant.
February when the judge ordered you to take him, and you sent me a video of him
Correct.
walking out the school,
Correct.
smiling, happy, not looking traumatized.
Correct. It is so. Yes.
So she spent more than 3 years just saying his son doesn't want to be around you, alienation, how he's traumatized, how he's fearful. She spent 3 years saying all these things. The same story over and over.
Over and over. And this is what she tells people. And the funny thing about it is somebody tells me something, I'm gonna look into it. Because if you tell me a person reacts to you a certain way, I'm gonna ask, what did you do contribute to the person doing so? So if you're gonna say something, make it make sense. Don't just jump an allegation because you want to use it as a scapegoat, as a way of escape to be looked at as someone is innocent.
So a lot of the times, that like you heard earlier, it's just allegations being made to keep your kid away from you.
Correct.
And yeah, so you have been fighting for years.
For years, I've even went as far as trying to resolve it peacefully. As a way of parents, you come together, but I couldn't do it by myself. I tried hard.
Why do you think, and I know this is a harder question to answer, why do you think she kept your son away?
She was revenge of not having her way.
Because you and her broke up,
right.
She knows that you love your son,
right?
So she used that against you.
She was using him as a weapon towards me. On several occasions, I've tried to make peace just for the child's sake, because we don't understand. We as parents, whatever we do, it makes a negative impact on the child. It's not about us. It's the child that gets hurt at the end of the day. But nobody took the initiative to think about that. We get into our feelings and this is what I want. I don't care the end result from it. And I've seen too many traumatized kids end up being traumatized because of this same result, because of these same behaviors.
One of the things she used a lot in court were different tactics, which you and I were very frustrated about. For instance, every time we had a new court date, she'd show up with a new attorney on the day. You remember that?
Correct.
And then that would push off court for another 6 months, another 4 months, every single time.
Correct.
And we both used to get frustrated, and I used to complain to the judge.
But what I came to understand was this is why I understand. If legal aid law attorneys, they will not take the case unless there's a allegation. So I came to the knowledge of why she kept on filing the frivolous restraining orders.
So she could get
So she can get the attorney without paying. Because she's always having ways of or trying tactics of pulling off stunt. Because she's very manipulative.
Oh, I've seen.
She'll talk the paint off the wall.
Oh my God, I can't with you.
If she gets the opportunity. And people believe these things.
And sadly, it costs you time with your child and money.
Yes, that it did. But thanks be to God for favor by the grace of God that he sent attorneys like you into my life. You heard the story head on yourself. I didn't come to you. God allowed you to be in my life. And you were able to, based on what you see and what you read in all the reports that was written, and those reports were well investigated from scratch.
So you remember how we met? It was actually one of the many schools that she had moved your son to.
Correct.
I just happened to know like the directors.
Yes.
So you had gone there to pick up your son per your timesharing court order.
It's funny because when I was doing that, see, you gotta understand what you're dealing with and deal with accordingly. So I call up a certain individual. I will not disclose a certain individual. And I said to her, you know what? I am going to get my son. Can you go with me? And she accompanied me and she saw the behavior beforehand. And I was there for hours, as you know, over on the phone, trying to get to my son. Just all I wanted was just for us to come together as both parents, because I believe a child has two parents.
Exactly.
No child has only one parent. It has to make sense. So when you're trying to pull one from the other, it defeats the purpose of
Right.
calling yourself a parent, because that's not good parenting. And I always say that a child has two parents. You cannot alienate one child from the other or use it as a personal gain to get what you want when you didn't get it at the time,
Right.
and then had other allegations to it.
So I remember the school had called me to put her on the phone. I didn't know you. I had never spoken to
Never
you.
spoken to you, never seen
I was
you.
even trying to be your attorney. All I know is the school called and they were like, "Is this court order? Because you had a court order that says you're allowed to get your
I
kid.
did.
Is it valid?"
I did.
And I didn't know this lady, but I did say to the principal that called me on the phone, I said, "Miss, if you keep this up, you're going to lose your son."
You did.
And you remember that, well, it took us a year, but do you remember how you got your child February?
Fasting and prayer.
I love his answer. I like his answer.
Nothing beats, like seriously, nothing beats fasting and prayer and a relationship with God. Because if I didn't have a relationship with God, I can't speak for anybody else. I had to ask God, I had to seek God. David said, the word said, fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity. And that's the word I stood on. Psalms 35, plead my cause, O Lord, with them that strive with me, fight against them that fight against me. And I challenged God. I said, God, if I be your servant, if I be your handmaid, if you choose me, if my ways please you, show me your glory.
So I like that answer. And from the court perspective, this lady claimed that your son wrote a letter, right? Remember?
Right.
And this
Correct.
lady, let me tell you, we've been through it, Mr. O. You remember how she carried us on a talk show
Yes.
in Jamaica that was aired for over 3,000 people? Lying, by the way. But February, how you got your son after 3 years of not seeing him, she claimed that your son wrote a letter. She sent this to every attorney she had, your attorneys, the judge, everybody she could find.
Correct.
And then I did a motion for a psych evaluation.
Because first and foremost, she told the nation that I didn't give her a green card. Which I hope people would come to the realization that that's not true. Immediately after she was scheduled to get the green card, that's when the monster really started to show its head.
So this is where family and immigration interacts, but we'll get into that. But yeah, she gave this letter that she claimed your son wrote.
Correct.
And the judge said no. It was so shocking to the judge that a child you hadn't seen in 3 years, she ordered that very day that you go pick up your son from school.
Correct.
That's how bad it was.
Because
the lady sink her own ship, you know.
Correct.
All right. You remember then that after the judge gave the order for you to get your son, do you remember how she went and told the police that what did she do that night?
I was at home enjoying my son.
That you hadn't seen in 3 years.
That I haven't seen with my family. So the detective called me. Mr. O, where's your son? I said, he's right here. So can I speak with him? He spoke with him, and everything was fine. When I went back to school the next day, the principal said to me, Dad, I was here till late last night.
They were calling me, the guardian. We were all on the phone for between 7 p.m. and 9 p.m.
Yes.
Because after the court ordered him to have his son, which we have in writing, she called the police to say you kidnapped him.
She did. right then and there. If when you were in a court hearing,
Oh, she was in the court
she
hearing.
was in the court hearing.
Okay.
She was there live and direct
When the judge ordered you to go get your
to go
son,
get my
but
son.
then she lied to the police that very night to say that you kidnapped the kid, and the police was calling all over the place interviewing you, your child, me, the guardian. And then after that she went on a talk show to talk bad about you.
They tried to defame my character, tried to defame my name, saying things that she made up as usual. Which it doesn't bother me because I know who I am and whose I am. Um, she started to. She even got her own stories twisted up. She don't. I don't even think she know what she was saying, what she was doing. That's how confused she was. She
I
appears to
know.
be.
And I showed it at YouTube. At one point, the interviewer wasn't even listening, and you should see the comments. Like, but I think, sometimes apart from revenge, in your particular case, I think there is, that's why a psych evaluation was ordered, because
Yes. Oh,
just the way that the child was treated, the things that were said, the repeated lies, the letter she wrote, she sent to the court, everything just showed that, all the screws weren't there.
and all I wanted was the best for. You know the funny thing about it? All I wanted was what's best for her.
And most importantly, your son.
And most importantly, my son. But at the same time, I was thinking, again, to reiterate, my son having both parents, not just get along. Even if we decide that we don't want to get back together, just for peace sake, for the child's sake, let's just co-parent. But that wasn't working. That's not what she wanted. I was up to a point where I feel I was being so sympathetic to her, about her. A friend of mine turned to me and said, "You're feeling sorry for this woman," and she's not. She's looking even more weight to sink you. I was really hoping to reconcile with peace. And when the friend of mine said that to me, the light clicked on. I said, you know what? She's right. She's absolutely right. Here I am being sympathetic, and I'm paying the consequences of it. The first time my son graduated, his first graduation, I didn't get to go. Why? Because I was slapped with a restraining order at the graduation was scheduled for the Wednesday morning, and I got the restraining order 6 o'clock of that graduation. A graduation I was in the process of getting ready to attend to see our son, because that's still his mother, our son graduate. That really hurt. But no one understood these things. No one see these things, but they only focus on the negative. But I'm not about that.
Yeah, you're strong in that regard.
I'm not for the tick for tack because it doesn't work. Because like I said, it all boils down to at the end of the day, the negative impact that is happening to the child. Children are heritage from the Lord. They are future. They are men and women of tomorrow. And the things that we do as parents, it can affect them in the long run. See, we have to live our life not for us anymore, but for our children.
How is your son doing now?
Oh, he's doing great. He's doing good. I still talk to him. I still tell him to love his mom, regardless of the situation. I still tell him you have two parents. Be respectful, because that's what I'm going to do. That's who I am. I still encourages him. To no matter comes what may, even if we don't decide to go back together, we'll always have two parents.
So I know you missed like 3 years. What are you doing now to, like make up? If there's such a thing, I know you missed some important years, but how have you been trying to make up for that time?
First, I try to. Well, communication is very important with a relationship with any parent. So the first thing I always try to do is teach them the way of communicate. Hey, let me know. Let me know what's going on. Express how you feel. Don't be afraid. to say, Dad, this is what it is, or this is how it is. I do makeup times with him. We go out, you know, he spent time with family members, friends. God has provided a lot of support too. I thank God for that. So he's doing very good. So those are the things that we try to work on, establish even the more every day.
You still in court, right?
Yes, I am.
And it's kind of winding down, you feel? Or you're not so sure?
I want it to wind up.
I know you want it to end.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we're trying to get it a divorce now.
Yes.
So I know, like, for me, the most important thing was getting your son back. And now we're just trying to get you a divorce so you have that, like, that aspect of it, that closure.
Correct. Correct. I am. That's a decision you make. She told the whole nation that I was the one that she was the one that filed for divorce. I was on reconciliation level. She wasn't on that.
That's okay. She could file for her divorce once you have your
She's
child.
no, she's obligated to, but that's not what she presented.
Right.
She was coming off as if I'm this kind of person that I said I am, but I'm really not. She doesn't want it to seem not to be appear what it is, what it not it is. Just like she lied about the green card.
Well, you have your son, and for me, that was the biggest challenge of
It
all.
was.
It was a fight.
It was a fight, but I thank God that it was worth the fight. Because it shows we have to understand, especially us as men, we have to understand that what we don't finish, our children is going to have to finish it. So it's a constant battle. Never give up. Man are born with a purpose, so especially a male child. Keep on fight the good fight of faith, no matter comes may. Even though it seems like there's no hope, but a relationship with God is very important. I'm not preaching. I'm just saying. I can tell every man what works for me. Preaching and prayer. Oh, I've cried. I asked God why, but I still didn't give up because I had an expectancy. And based on that expectancy, I went to my neighbors and I borrowed some water pots from my neighbors because my blessing is about to be outpoured. And I stand on that word. Just like the Elijah and the Shunammite woman. After she blessed Elijah, Elijah told her, go and borrow some water pots because God is about to overflow your blessing instantly, in season and out of season. I tell every man, the Bible said, man always ought to pray and not faint. And as long as you're in this world, you will have tribulation. But I stand on the assurance of what he said. He said, as long as you're in this world, you have tribulation. But just as how I overcame, you too will also overcome. And I hold that bargain. And I tell God, you got to hold up that side of the bargain. If I'm not living right, I'm going to know. Because I have an expectancy. And if my expectancy is not met, then I know I have some repentance to do. But until then, I'm going to keep on reading the word, talking to God. So I encourage every man out there, prayer is the key. Can't go around that. Can't beat that.
Can't beat that.
Prayer and fasting is the key. Men always, that means don't stop. Even when it hurts. And it's okay to say it hurts. I tell men, a lot of men that God used me to minister to, don't hide behind your emotion because we're men. It doesn't negate the fact that you're a man. If it hurts, it is okay to say it hurts. But the most important thing is don't stay there. Get up. You will feel discouraged. You will feel like you want to give up. You will, yes, I get it. You will feel lonely. You will feel like you're not going nowhere. You will, but don't stay there. Get up. And I hold on to that.
you have your son.
And now, by the grace of God,
Amen.
by His chosen servant, the destiny helper that He sent in my life, I have you, Mr. Shane. God blessed me with my son. I can't leave God out. Because my glory I will not share with no man. And I stand on that.
Thank you. Let's go fight. Well, we kind of win, kind of. We just tried to get the divorce now.
Yes. And it's gonna be and it's going through.
Yeah, I think, yeah, we have court when in another week or two.
Yeah.
I don't remember when, but this month, so.
But God is faithful.
God is faithful.
God is faithful.
Amen. All right. Oh.